What's happening, peeps? Welcome back. We're diving back into more Michigan beer, kind of from an old school staple. It's going to be Dragon's Milk, this time reserve. It's the coffee chocolate variant, guys. 11% alcohol, which is that standard Dragon's Milk that we're accustomed to. Usually this beer has been like $16.99 for a 4-pack. This one, I think, is coming in around $17.99 for a 4-pack. So maybe $1 more than you're accustomed to seeing, but nothing too crazy in today's terms with inflation and beer costs, guys. So bourbon barrel-aged stout with coffee and chocolate. Pretty much to the point. So I'm not going to read the back. You know how long these guys have been around and doing it. It's New Holland, man. It's New Holland Brewing Company. I haven't been there. I never make my way to this brewery. I wish I could when I'm traveling. I miss it. So I wish I could get there one day. Maybe I will. We'll see. We're going to dive in. This is room temperature. I don't think I need to add anything else besides that this is a little smoky coming out of the top. Let's go to our pour, guys. Proper glassware for whiskey and bourbon. Very fizzy, if you can hear that. That's crazy. Some of the most carved up cola I've ever seen coming from a bourbon barrel-aged stout. So again, 11%, the staple, kind of the base that they're used to and always throwing into distribution. Nothing out of the ordinary besides the variant difference. Let's go to an aroma. Well, there's a lot of like dark chocolate in there. There is a lot of milk chocolate. Kind of fudgy too, like ever so slightly fudgy, like this ganache brownie thing. But the coffee's strong, and if you know me by now, I love coffee. I love it. This is appealing to me on the nose. I will say I like thicker stouts. I like stouts with more grit to them, with more body. This does not have that. Looking at the pour, the way it's sitting in the glass, it's thinner. That's kind of the way Dragon's Milk has been, and even with this reserve, still that thinner version that we're used to seeing. But again, I like these big, thick stouts. This is not really that so far, but let's go to a cheers, guys. Dragon Milk Reserve. Yeah, I've never been fond of the body on Dragon's Milk. It's super drinkable, I will say, because it's room temperature. A little bit metallic-y, a little bit watered down. Where's the barrel? You know, I wish there was more barrel to this sucker. It's what I'm accustomed to getting on Dragon's Milk from New Holland. It's thin, super thin and watery. There is a nice dose of chocolatey goodness, I will say, for being so thin. Hard to dive in and get that substance. You know, sometimes it's lacking when the body's lacking. I will say the body is quite lacking, but the chocolate is there. It's fudgy. It's kind of brownie-ish. It's kind of ganache-like. It's milky. It's a little bit dark. But we've also got this roasty coffee goodness that kind of pairs together really well with that chocolate. Let's dive back in. A little bit of roasty coffee espresso notes. Just normal dark roasted coffee rather than espresso, but it's there. I'd say it's a nice blend between chocolate and coffee. Sometimes one dominates the other. I love the coffee, so maybe coffee is a little lacking for me, but coffee usually dominates when it's in mass amounts in stouts. The coffee is just right, in my opinion. It's blended really well with that chocolate variant as well. It's a nice marriage of both. It's solid. If you like coffee, you're going to like this. If you like chocolate, you're going to like this. My gripe, where's the barrel? I get no barrel heat, but again, good and bad. I want the barrel. I get just a little bit of that barrel on the back end. It just sits there ever so nicely. A little wood, a little bit of slight heat. Slight, but it's almost undetectable at room temperature. So again, do you want the barrel, or is that going to hinder the drinkability? So this drinkability is off the charts. That being said, I want the barrel. I want more heat. I want more qualities of that barrel. I'm not getting it. But Dragon's Milk usually doesn't give me that. A little bit of cacao nibs. Cacao for you cool guys. Yeah, cacao nibs are in there for sure. It's good. It's good. Is this the greatest stout I've ever had at 11% ABV? No, not even close. But I will say it's a very nice offering from New Holland, especially since I'm not a huge fan of Dragon's Milk. I'll say that. I like this more than I anticipated I'd like it, and I didn't want to say that off the start. But typically, Dragon's Milk is not my first choice. It's just not. These guys have been doing it a long time, and I feel like they've been surpassed by many in new school breweries and beer technology and brewing techniques. It seems dated. But this one is a nice offering. It's nice. If you like thinner stouts with drinkability, this is you. But I'm just going to stress, you're not going to get a lot of that barrel. You're not going to get a lot of that body. It's lacking. A little bit of like raisiny goodness too underneath. A little bit of that fruit, dark fruit in there. It's good. It's good, man. I like this. It's solid. But is it my favorite? No. So, rating. Thin, watery, no barrel, just a little bit. I get a little hint on the back that shows itself on the back of my palate. But I think I like this more than, honestly, the normal Dragon's Milk. I think I do. But, 3.9 out of 5. That's what it is. You've heard my critiques. You've heard my cons. You've heard my pros. That's where I sit today. Thanks for being here, guys. It's another episode of Poor Michigan Reviews. Cheers.